Fantasy EFL is back, and today we'll be going through my game week preview. Today's video will be longer than usual. That is due to the international break, so there's no UCF Fantasy and there's no FPL. So we're throwing all my eggs in one basket here into Fantasy EFL. In today's video, we're going to go through a season review so far of how I'm doing at the moment and how you are doing in my mini league. Then the game week preview survey, where all of you vote for your favourite picks on my Twitter. Then the clean sheet odds and my latest drafts / team selection for this upcoming game week in Fantasy EFL. But before we get into all of that, please be sure to like and subscribe. The support does not go unnoticed. I am very close to 315 subscribers, so anything you can do to help me get to that goal will be greatly appreciated. And of course, my mini league code for Fantasy EFL will be in the description. But yeah, without any further delay, we'll get straight into this game week preview, beginning with my season review. So this is how I performed in my last game week, and it's not pretty to look at. 69 points, and as you can see, I am missing 2 players from my side who didn't play at all, and that's because I have a broken phone. I could not update my team at the football. So yeah, I guess that is the price you pay when you have a broken phone, with Norwood and Sarkiewicz missing out for their respective sides. So not ideal at all, and that pushes me down to around 110th in the world from around 80th. So there's a big red arrow, and I feel like if I did have a full team of playing players, it would have at least been a small red arrow or possibly a small green one. So yeah, very unfortunate, but I am still second in my club league. I will take the positives from that. And now we'll have a look at my mini league standings, see how everyone is doing in my league, and you may be in that top 10. We'll look at it right now. Here is my mini league. We'll go through the top 10 for this overview, and you may see a few familiar names in here, maybe from Twitter. There are quite a few from Twitter in this top 10. At top of the table is That Tastes Like Promotion. I think he is one of the best players in the world, going off the world rankings with 1, 2, 3, 5 points. That is outstanding, and he is quite a distance in front of second in this league. Following him in second place is the Chipmunks with 1,196 points. Then we've got our Wednesday back. Full English, Brecky and Argyle Jack make up the top 5 in my mini league. Missing out on the top 5 is Special Brew. I'm sure he was flying at one point, but after a few recent poor game weeks, he's gone down a little bit. But I am sure he will return to his previous form. But still, where he is in the world, that is still a tremendous achievement. Then finishing off the top 10 is Glatter Cakes, myself, Byron the Bulb and FPL Thomas. I should note that there is one more game to play in this current game week before game week 16. So things may differ slightly, but I don't think they will too much. And of course, if you want to be in my mini league that has around 150 participants, be sure to click the link in the description. Okay, now moving on to the player game week survey, where I ask you who your favourite picks are for this upcoming game week. Game week 16 in this case in Fantasy EFL. And also, sorry that the photo of Webster on the right hand side is a bit blurry. It's the best I can get for such a small game week. But yeah, moving on to the game week survey, beginning with the formations. There is nearly 35 votes for each of these polls. All of these polls go on my Twitter, and they may go up slightly by the time I finish editing this video. So if you see a different number to what I'm saying on the voiceover, that's because it has increased. 44% of people are going for the 2-3-1, 38% going for the 2-2-2. I find that very interesting. 2-2-2 for me has never really been an optimal formation, but in more recent weeks, and especially in the season, the 2-2-2 has been regarded as a better formation. Then 9% saying 3-2-1 and another 9% saying they are not too sure. Moving on to the goalkeepers, and if you're not aware, I pick the players to go on in these polls based on the drafts I've seen so far, who are the most popular players I've seen in those drafts, and here they are. Keeley at 42%, then Roos and Roberts at 15%, then 28% of people saying they are not sure, but we do have a clear favourite here in Keighley. 68% of people went for Swanme in the defender poll. That is a very large majority. Then a combined 12% went for Walsall and Luton defenders, so 6% each for those two teams. Then 20% went for not sure or other. Webster, the man on your screen right now, got 65% in the midfielder poll. Pinnock 10%, Gilby 6% and 19% are not sure or other. So again, another clear favourite, this time for Webster. The forward poll, Cheek has 19%, Jatta at 30%. Then at nearly 40%, the two players combined, they're at 39%. So I guess that's why 222 is coming into fashion for this game week, with both Cheek and Jatta being very popular picks together. 13% were not sure or other in the forward poll. And in the booster poll, 94% of people say they weren't going to use any boosters. Polls definitely give us a good idea of who the most popular picks are in Fantasy EFL for this game week. Let me know what you think of them and if you like this concept. I guess adding in the club picks could be a good idea as well for a future game week preview. But yeah, with that out of the way, we're going to move on to the clean sheet odds. Here we are. These are always good when you have 50-50s on defender picks. They always tell you who the better defenders are to pick, in my opinion. But it's safe to say that they're not looking great overall. And that is probably another reason why people are going away from the 3-2-1 in this game week, like we saw in my survey. I've got the top 5 for you here in League 1 and League 2, I believe. And at the top is Luton at home to Rotherham at around 45%. Following them is League 2 side Notts County, who played this week on the Monday, and they did not keep a clean sheet in that one. They have a 44% probability of keeping a clean sheet versus Harrogate in Game Week 16. Bromley and Omar Swanme have a 42% probability of keeping a clean sheet in Game Week 16. They are at home to Barrow. And at the same percentage, Walsall and Lincoln. Walsall at home to Colchester and Lincoln at home to Doncaster. Let me know what you think of these clean sheet odds. Not many options this week, I know. So I probably will be going for a 2-3-1 or a 2-2-2. And we'll see that in a second when we move on to my team selection / latest draft. The defence will most likely be very template in Game Week 16. Keighley in goal, Swanme as the first defender, then maybe a Notts County defender as the second defender. It'll be very template, but there is not much you can do in game weeks like this when there's not many teams playing because of the international break. And perhaps the teams like MK Dons, who are good defensively and are one of the better teams in the league, they have a tougher game than most this game week, so they won't be amongst the highest for clean sheet odds. Now moving on to my team selection / latest draft for this upcoming game week. Game week 16 in Fantasy EFL. This is not my final team. My final team will most likely be posted on my Twitter. The link to my Twitter will be in the description. But yeah, first look at this team, beginning with the keeper and the two defenders. It is the picks that I mentioned earlier, Keighley, Swanme and a Notts County defender, who we'll move on to in a bit. Keighley in goal versus Rotherham. Good clean sheet odds for that one. Keighley has picked up an impressive 7 clean sheets in 14 games this season. So in 50% of his games, Luton have not conceded. And I assume that means they are up there for the best defence in League 1. And also in Game Week 15, he saved a penalty. He knows how to save a penalty. That is very promising also. And I think he is the best goalkeeper pick in this game week. Swanme is definitely a lock in my side. He is my vice captain at the moment. Although that is not relevant because all of these players are playing on the 3 PM kickoff on the Saturday. So no vice captain trick I can use in this game week. Moving into his stats, 13 games, 108 clearances and 4 clean sheets across the season. But he also has a goal in him. I've picked him and he scored this season. And he also scored last game week in Game Week 15. So he has that attacking presence that other defenders may not have. And combining that with his clearance numbers and the fact that Bromley have a very good game at home to Barrow, he is definitely an elite pick. I have picked my Notts County defender purely on the basis that they have a good game. Badur, or however you pronounce the name, is my pick. His clearance numbers aren't amazing, only around 80 so far this season. And overall stats aren't too good, nothing compared to Suwunmi, but I'm picking him on the basis that Notts County have a very good probability of keeping a clean sheet in this game week, and hopefully that pays off, because if it doesn't, I'm picking a player who doesn't have very good bonuses. Moving on to my two midfielders, beginning with Webster of Burton Albion. He is at home to Blackpool in this upcoming game week. He's got 8 goal involvements in 15 games. He can pick up interceptions and key passes. It's a very good combo. That is really what you want to see from a midfielder. But he also has not got less than a 6-pointer since game week 8. So 7 games running, he's got a very decent haul. So he is on some very good form. And versus a poor Blackpool side, you bank on him to get another goal involvement, maybe a few interceptions as well. And yeah, I do think he is the best midfielder pick. My second midfielder, El Mazzuni, is someone who I feel is going under the radar so far going up to the deadline. 2% selected and 7 average points so far this season. Going into his stats, 13 games but 22 interceptions. That makes him one of the highest interception scoring players that is available this game week. I do like a player who picks up a lot of interceptions, and he has a few goals in him as well, 3 so far this season for Leyton Orient. El Mazzuni is facing Exeter in game week 16, and in his last 2 game weeks he's picked up 17 points. Moving on to my first striker in Michael Cheek. 10 goal involvements in 15 games so far for Barrow this season, and that is why he has such a high ownership at the minute, 13%, and that is so high for a good reason. He always has a goal in him. He was the top goal scorer in League 2 last season, and it does mean I am doubling up on Bromley assets with Suwunmi in my side as well. The final player in this side is Jatta of Notts County, facing Harrogate. 8 goal involvements in all of the games he's played this season, but that is slightly less than Cheek. But Alisson Jatta has been on better form. He hasn't blanked in 3 game weeks, picking up a few goal involvements along the way. And for me, I feel like Alisson Jatta is way too good for League 2. He was rumoured with a move elsewhere in the summer transfer window. That collapsed for whatever reason, and he's still at Notts County in League 2. And versus a poor Harrogate side who have been struggling for form as of late, I feel like we should be expecting a few goal involvements from Alisson Jatta. Moving on to my 2 club picks, 2 teams who I've yet to pick so far this season. Bromley, who I'm now tripling up on. I feel that may be a bit risky, putting all my eggs in one basket there. So that may be something I alter as we get closer to the deadline. And of course, I'll post my final team on my Twitter. Bromley being at home to Barrow. Then we've also got Notts County at home to Harrogate. So no away sides in these 2 club picks. Going a bit safer, basing that off on the 2 home teams I'm picking. But yeah, that is my team at the moment. Let me know what you think of it. If there is anything you think I should change, be sure to let me know. Hopefully you can build on a pretty poor game week 15 and get back into the top 100. But yeah, that does conclude today's video. If you have enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe. Esport does not go unnoticed. All the important links will be in the description, my mini code and my Twitter. Thank you for watching today's video, and good luck in game week 16.